What is going on, guys? Thanks for checking out this video on my sports Gematria. In this video, I'm going to go over some NBA games for Wednesday, February 9th, 2022. I'm going to show you highlights of each side, and it's going to be up to you to determine who you think will win based on the numbers. I encourage you to add additional information on top of this if needed for you to feel confident in your own pick. And I wish you guys the best of luck on all your picks today. Let's go ahead and get into the games. We're going to be looking at the Spurs versus the Cavs, Bulls versus Hornets, Raptors versus Thunder, Warriors versus Jazz, Lakers versus Trailblazers, and the Timberwolves versus the Kings to end off the night. On this side of the screen is what I call my daily numbers, date numerology, Gregorian Hebrew calendar. And then on this side of the screen is what I call my game numbers specific to the game. For example, the way that's set up here is I have the road team, the away team up top, their season record, their coach's record, any other notes I want to add, their road record. In the middle is the head-to-head record between the two teams, all-time, regular season, and for this season in particular. And then at the bottom is the home team, their season record, their home record, their coach's record, and any other notes that I want to add. So we're going to go ahead and get into these games. We'll go through these games really quick. I won't spend too much time on them. Let's get to a bigger screen. Spurs versus the Cavaliers. All right, so let's start off Spurs versus the Cavs. We'll start with the Cavs, the home team. We'll go over some numbers for the home team to win this game, and then we'll go over some numbers for the road team to win this game. So if we were to start off with the Cavaliers, what would it look like for the Cavaliers to win this game? This is what I would say. I would say this is the Cavaliers' 55th game for the season. This is the Spurs' 55th game for the season. Spurs can sit on 20 wins for the season with the loss, as the Cavaliers sweep the Spurs 2-0 like 20 head-to-head against for this season. The number 20 written out sums to 55. Just like the number 36 written out sums to 55. And it's both these teams' 55th game for the season. Cavaliers can get that 36 all-time head-to-head win against the Spurs, as well as that 36 regular season head-to-head win against the Spurs as they become 2-0, like 20, as Spurs sit on 20 wins. 55th game. Today does have a 17-date numerology on the Gregorian. Spurs can get their 17th road loss to go with. Excuse me. And what else? Cavs can get their 34th win for the season. If you write out the number 34, it sums to 61, the 18th prime number. And so Cavs can get their 34th win for the season as they get their 18th home win. 34 sums to 61, the 18th prime number, as Cavs coach gets his 61st win regular season as a coach for the Cavs. And those would be some numbers for the Cavs to win this game. If we were to look towards the Spurs to win this game, this is a revenge game for the Spurs. Spurs can even the score 1-1 head-to-head against the Cavs for the season like an 11. If you actually write out the number 11, it sums to 27 in two of the four base ciphers. 11 sums to 27 in two of the four base ciphers. Spurs can get their revenge, even the score 1-1 head-to-head like an 11, in the Cavs' 27th home game for the season. Cavs would sit on 17 home wins with a loss on a day with 17-date numerology for the Gregorian. It's also February 9th, written 2/9, kind of like the number 29, and 29 is the 10th prime number. Cavaliers could become 17-10 at home with the loss as Spurs get their 10th road win. Cavaliers would sit on 33 wins for the season with the loss, today with 33-date numerology on the Gregorian, it being the 333rd day on the Hebrew religious side. Hebrew religious has 33-date numerology as well. And if you actually write out the number 33, it sums to 156, and it's the 156th day of the Hebrew civil calendar. All of that could play in factor for the Cavs to sit on 33 wins for the season. And those would be the numbers for that game. Let's move on to the next one. We're going to look at the Bulls versus the Hornets. The Bulls versus the Hornets. Let's start with the home team, of course. If the home team was going to win, if the Hornets were going to win this game, they can get some revenge against the Bulls on the season. Hornets can even the score 1-1 head-to-head against the Bulls, like an 11, as Hornets sit on 11 home losses with a win, as Hornets sit on 27 losses for the season with a win. And I showed you a few minutes ago that the number 11 written out sums to 27 in 2 of the 4 base ciphers. 27, 27. It also sums to 63. And the Bulls coach would get a 63rd loss regular season as a coach for the Bulls, as Hornets even the score 1-1 like an 11, sitting on 11 losses at home, sitting on 27 losses for the season. This is February 9th, written 2/9, like 29. Hornets would become 29-27 for a season record with the win. Hornets coach, he can get his 134th win regular season for his career. Today with 17 date numerology on the Gregorian, 17 written out, sums to 134. And today has 33 date numerology on the Gregorian. It's the 333rd day of the Hebrew religious year. 33 date numerology on the Hebrew religious side. 33 written out sums to 156. It's the 156th day of the Hebrew civil. The Bulls can sit on 33 wins for this season with a loss. And that would be the numbers for the Hornets to win this game. If the Bulls were going to win this game, the Hornets have been lackluster lately. They're on a 5-game losing streak. Hornets could pick up their 6th loss in a row. If you write out the number 6, 6 sums to 29, this being February 9th, written 2/9. It also sums to 20. And Hornets can get their 6th loss in a row, as Bulls up the series 2-0 head-to-head against the Hornets like 20. 6 sums to 20. But also, if you write out the number 20, it sums to 55, it sums to 28, it sums to 26. And this is Bulls' 55th game for the season, their 28th road game for the season. They could become 2-0 head-to-head against Hornets like 20, sums to 28 and 55. And at the same time, Hornets would become 28-28 for a season record with a loss in their 26th home game. 20 sums to 26, 28, and 55. And today does have 17 date numerology on the Gregorian. 17 sums to 44. The Bulls can sit on 44 regular season head-to-head losses against the Hornets with a win. And those would be some numbers for the Bulls. Give me 1 second here. I gotta blow my nose. My apologies. Nobody wants to hear that. Forgive me. But yeah, those would be the numbers for the Bulls and the Hornets. One last thing for the Bulls. This is the 129th all-time head-to-head matchup between these two teams. And the Bulls coach, he can sit on 219 losses regular season with a win. 219, 129 are just anagrams of each other. So that's both sides for this game. Let's move on to the next one, the Raptors and the Thunder. The Raptors and the Thunder. Start with the home team, the Thunder. If the Thunder was going to win this game, one thing we can say is today has 36 date numerology on the Hebrew civil. It's the 8th day of the 6th month on the Hebrew civil, like 86. And Thunder can sit on 36 losses for the season, as their coach sits on 86 losses regular season for his career with a win, as Thunder sit on 19 all-time head-to-head losses against Raptors with a win. If we write out the number 19, 19 sums to 86. Also, if you notice, 19 sums to 40, and today is the 40th day of the Gregorian New Year. Thunder coach, he can become 40-86 for a record in his career. 19 sums to 86 and 40. Today, the 40th day of the Gregorian, also the 8th day of the 6th month for the Hebrew civil calendar. The Raptors, they would sit on 29 wins for the season on February 9th, written 2/9, as they get their 24th loss for the season. 24, if you write it out, 24 sums to 167. And the Raptors can get their 24th loss for the season as their coach sits on 167 wins regular season for his career. And Thunder would get their 10th home win for the season on February 9th, 2/9, like 29, the 10th prime number. And that would also mean that the Thunder would sweep the Raptors for the season 2-0, head-to-head like 20. But those are some numbers for the Thunder to win this game. If the Raptors were going to win this game, it could be a revenge narrative. Raptors can sit on 31 all-time head-to-head losses against the Thunder with the win, 31 the 11th prime number. Raptors would become 1-1 head-to-head against the Thunder for the season, like an 11. Raptors would sit on 11 road losses with the win, as their coach sits on 111 losses regular season for his career with the win. So you have this 11 pattern going on for the Raptors. Raptors can get their 30th win for the season as they get their 7th win in a row, as Thunder get their 3rd loss in a row. If we write out the number 30, 30 sums to 37. Raptors would get their 30th win, get their 7th win in a row, as Thunder get their 3rd loss in a row, like 37. Also, today has 17 date numerology on the Gregorian, 17 sums to 37. And the Thunder would become 1737 for a season record with a loss to go with. And the number 7, if we write it out, 7 sums to 20. And Raptors can get their 20th all-time head-to-head win against the Thunder as they get their 7th win in a row. And those would be some numbers for this game. Warriors versus Jazz. We got 3 more games to go. Let's start with the home team Jazz. If the Jazz was going to win this game, they can sit on 21 losses for this season as they become 1-2 head-to-head against the Warriors for the season with a win. 12, 21 are just reflections of each other. Another thing you can say is Warriors would become 2-1 head-to-head against the Jazz with the loss, like 21, as Jazz sit on 21 losses for the season with the win. Jazz could become 19-10 at home for the season with the win. Today is February the 9th, like 2/9, like 29, the 10th prime number. This is Jazz 29th home game, the 10th prime number. They can sit on 10 home losses with the win as they get their 19th home win. I've already showed you that if you spell out the word 19, it sums to 40. Today is the 40th day of the Gregorian. It also sums to 86, today being the 8th day of the 6th month on the Hebrew civil calendar. Warriors would get their 10th road loss, 29, the 10th prime number. And Warriors would become 41-14 for a season record with the loss as Jazz pick up their 114 regular season head-to-head win against the Warriors. And that's about all I had for this game for the Jazz side. Jazz are on a 3-game winning streak, looking for their 4th win in a row. Today does have 53 date numerology on the Gregorian. 53 written out sums to 49. The Jazz can get their 4th win in a row as Warriors in their 9-game winning streak, kind of like the number 49. That can play in favor for the Jazz. Let's go ahead and move over to the Warriors. If the Warriors were going to win this game, Jazz can sit on 33 wins for the season. Today with 33 date numerology on the Gregorian, the 333rd day of the Hebrew religious year, a day with 33 date numerology on the Hebrew religious. 33 written out sums to 156. It's the 156th day of the Hebrew civil. Jazz can simply just sit on 33 wins for the season with the loss. Warriors could up the series 3-0 head-to-head against Jazz for the season, like 30, as Warriors sit on 113 regular season head-to-head losses against the Jazz. 113 is the 30th prime number. Warriors can get their 10th win in a row for the season. Today is February the 9th, written 2/9, like 29. 29 is the 10th prime number. Warriors would sit on 13 losses for the season with the win, as they become 17-9 for a road record. 179 is the 41st prime number. 41 is the 13th prime number. They would get their 17th road win on a day with 17 date numerology for the Gregorian. Today has 53 date numerology for the Gregorian. 53 written out sums to 148. Warriors coach could become 418 and 184 for a regular season record for his career with a win today. 418 and 184 is simply just an anagram of 148. 53 date numerology on the Gregorian. 53 sums to 148. And that would be the numbers for the Warriors to win this game. The Warriors and the Jazz. So let's keep it moving here. We'll go to the Lakers and the Blazers. So if we start with the Blazers, the home team, one thing that they got going for them is the number 22. I just didn't see anything with the number 22 on the calendars. But if the Blazers do win this game, they can get their 22nd win for the season, as they even the score 2-2, like 22 head-to-head against the Lakers for the season, as Lakers coach gets his 79th loss regular season as a coach for Lakers. 79, the 22nd prime number. Lakers would get their 30th loss for the season as they get their 17th road loss for the season. Today with 17 date numerology on the Gregorian. 17 sums to 37, just like the number 30 sums to 37. They can get their 30th loss and their 17th road loss as Blazers get that 22nd win, even the score 2-2. Outside of that, I didn't see a whole lot for the Blazers. One big thing, though, that could go in Blazers' favor here, I'll mark this a light blue because I didn't already, but it's the Blazers' 56th game for the season. It's the Lakers' 56th game for the season. If Lakers lose this game, they become 26-30 for a season record. 26-30 or 263 for short is the 56th prime number. So if Lakers lose this game, it's because it's their 56th game for the season. It's because it's the Blazers' 56th game for the season. And 263 looks like or 26-30 looks like 263, the 56th prime number. If Lakers were going to win this game, though, it'd kind of be the same number. Lakers 56 game for the season, Blazers 56 game for the season. The number 35 written out sums to 56. And Blazers can get their 35th loss for the season in their 56 game. 35 sums to 56, Lakers 56 game. Lakers would get their 27th win for the season. 27 written out sums to 53. And today does have 53 date numerology on the Gregorian. It also has 17 date numerology on the Gregorian. Either one of these two teams, either Lakers is going to get their 17th road loss or the Blazers can get their 17th home loss. It is the Blazers' 31st home game, and the Lakers could become 3-1, like 31 head-to-head against the Blazers for this season. 31 is the 11th prime number, and the Lakers coach would get his 121st regular season win as a coach for Lakers. 121 has a square root of an 11. 31, the 11th prime. Blazers' 31st home game. Lakers could become 3-1 head-to-head against the Blazers for the season, like 31. Lakers would sit on 111 regular season head-to-head losses against the Blazers with the win. Lakers would also sit on 128 all-time head-to-head losses against Blazers with the win. Today is the 8th day of the 12th month on the Hebrew religious side. 8/12, 128 anagrams of each other. And I think that might be it. Let's move on to the Kings and the Timberwolves, the last game of the night. Excuse me. Forgive me. All right, so we'll start with the home team, the Kings. If the Kings are going to win this game, Well, Kings haven't. These guys literally just played each other last night. This is a back-to-back game between these two. They played each other last night. Timberwolves won, and so now they're playing again tonight. So this is a back-to-back head-to-head between these two. Usually you want to look at things like this where they split the series. One team wins the one game, and the next team wins the other game. For the Kings, they have yet to beat the Timberwolves. This is the third and last head-to-head matchup between these two teams for the season. Kings could go ahead and just get their first win against the Timberwolves for the season and become 1-2 head-to-head against Timberwolves, like 12. From the Timberwolves side, it would be 2-1, like 21. And Kings would get their 21st win for the season to go with. If that were to happen, I'll go ahead and mark that a light blue. Kings can finally get a win, 1-2. They get their 21st win, 2-1. Like 21. Timberwolves, they would sit on 29 wins for the season in their 29th road game with a loss. Today is February 9th, written 2/9, like 29. Today also has 53 date numerology on the Gregorian. 53 sums to 59. 59, the 17th prime number. Today was 17 date numerology as well. And Kings can get their 59th regular season head-to-head win against the against the Timberwolves. And the Timberwolves would get their 16th road loss today with 53 date numerology, the 16th prime number. And Kings would sit on 17 home losses with the win. Today was 17 date numerology. And what else? What else? I think that might be it. Yeah, I didn't have a whole lot for this particular game either. Excuse me. 62, 56. I guess they could say they sit on that 36 losses. Today does have 36 date numerology on the Hebrew civil side of the calendar, 36, as well as 96. That's being Timberwolves coach's 96 regular season game. So 21-36, they could become 2-1 like 21. Timberwolves can sit on 29 wins with a loss in their 29th road game on February 9th. They can get their 16th road loss. Kings can sit on 17 home wins with the 17 home losses with the win. And then they can get that 59th regular season head-to-head win against Timberwolves. If the Timberwolves are going to win this game, today does have 17 date numerology on the Gregorian. 17 sums to 37. Kings can get their 37th loss for the season. The Timberwolves would sweep the Kings 3-0 if that were the case, like 30. And the number 30 written out sums to 37. Kings can get their 37th loss as Timberwolves sweep 3-0, like 37 sums to 37. Kings get that 37th loss. Timberwolves would get their 30th win for the season as they sweep 3-0, like 30. They would become 30-25 for a season record. 30-25 written out has a square root of 55, and this will be the 55th game for the Timberwolves. This is the 57th game for the Kings, and if you write out 37, it sums to 57. So in their 57th game, they can get their 37th loss. 37 sums to 57. And Timberwolves' 55th game, they could become 30-25, which has a square root of 55. Get their 30th win as they sweep the Kings 3-0 like 30. And that would be the numbers for the Timberwolves to win this game back-to-back against the Kings. Hopefully this helps. Hopefully this gives you some insight to what's going on in these matches. Forgive me for the background noise. I have a bit of a runny nose today, so you might have heard me blow my nose. Nobody wants to hear that. I apologize. But at the very least, hopefully this gives you some insight to these games, gives you an understanding of what's going on in these games today, gives you both sides for you to kind of weigh your options, maybe add some more stuff on top of it, or get you started on a decode if you haven't already started. And I wish you guys the best of luck on all your picks today. Hopefully you win all the money in the world. And I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate the support. I'll see you in the next video.